Hey, Chris here, and welcome to the Deep Dive.
And I'm Cassie. So you've shared this YouTube video transcript with us. It's from Ruri Ohama called Watch This If You Feel Like a Failure.
Yeah, that title. It definitely grabs you, doesn't it? Kind of cuts right to it.
It really does. Seems like something a lot of people connect with.
For sure. So our mission today, basically, is to dig into why Ruri argues that feeling like a failure, especially after comparing yourself on social media, why that's such a dangerous mindset.
Right. And also how she suggests we can maybe shift our perspective on that.
Exactly. It sounds like she's got some pretty practical stuff in there, some frameworks even.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So let's get into it. The video starts off talking about something I think we all know, scrolling social media.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing people, often younger people, who just seem to have everything: success, money, respect. You know the vibe.
Absolutely. The video mentions like the dream houses, the fancy cars, those big brand collabs, all that stuff.
The highlight reel stuff.
Exactly. And it points out how, maybe you start feeling inspired, but then it can turn pretty quickly.
Yeah, into that negative comparison thing.
Right. Suddenly you're feeling, well, inadequate, maybe jealous even, like you're just being left behind.
Totally. You see their shiny posts and that little voice pipes up, questioning your own progress or lack of it. The video uses strong words like failure, left behind. It gets intense.
It really taps into those strong emotions.
So let's ask the listeners too. Have you ever been scrolling and just felt that little pang like, man, am I doing enough?
I think it's almost impossible not to sometimes, right? Especially with how curated everything is online. It's often just the best bits. And then the video brings up another really important piece, the societal pressure.
Oh, huge. This idea you need your whole life figured out super young.
Yeah, your career path locked down, all your contacts sorted.
It's a lot. And it can make you feel, well, lost if you're not hitting those imaginary benchmarks.
But here's where the video offers some comfort, I think. It says, feeling lost is actually completely normal.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, and it acknowledges these feelings might just be brief moments, or they could stick around for like decades even, which feels, I don't know, realistic, reassuring.
Definitely takes the pressure off a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the feeling of failure, the societal pressure. Then the video kind of pivots, right, towards defining success and what we miss.
Exactly. Ruri gives this broad definition first. Achieving dreams, goals, having money, respect, being good for society, enjoying life.
Sounds pretty good, a whole picture.
Yeah, holistic. But then she gets to the crunch. Why we feel bad comparing. She says we usually ignore two massive things.
Okay, what are they?
Unfair advantages and the iceberg illusion.
Interesting names. Let's unpack those. Unfair advantages first.
Right. The video mentions these aren't like cheating or anything illegal. They're more like unique competitive edges. Things specific to you, maybe not even earned in the traditional sense.
Okay, so circumstantial boosts, maybe? Things you happen to have.
Sort of, yeah. And she introduces this Miles framework to break them down. M is for money.
Right, capital. Or just being able to get it easily. Maybe family money or knowing investors, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Then I is intelligence and insight. And this isn't just book smarts.
Like emotional intelligence, social skills, creativity.
All of that. Knowing how people tick, thinking differently, that's your I.
Got it.
L is location, luck, and looks. So being in the right place counts. Pure luck sometimes. And yeah, looks can be an advantage in some areas, like influencing.
Makes sense. Right place, right time. Or maybe just catching a lucky break.
Totally. E is education and expertise. Formal schooling, sure, but also self-taught skills, stuff you've learned that gives you an edge.
So like maybe you taught yourself coding online for years. That counts.
Definitely. And finally, S is status, your social standing, who you know, your network, also your personal brand, even just confidence.
Okay, so connections, reputation, self-belief. So it's all bundled in S.
Right. And the video gives examples like being conventionally attractive might help an influencer get started, or being tall for basketball, obvious advantages.
Sure.
Then there's that quote from Evan Spiegel, the Snapchat guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. He was really open about his background, wasn't he?
Super open, called himself a young, white, educated male, mentioned his successful parents, great education, having Scott Cook from Intuit as a mentor.
Wow. That really highlights how different starting points can be.
Exactly. And the video's point isn't to complain that life's unfair, though it is.
Right. Not a victim mindset.
No. It's about saying, okay, life's unfair, But success often comes from figuring out your advantages and actually using them.
That's a powerful shift. Find your own edge.
And she even suggests almost anything could be an advantage if you frame it right, if you know how to leverage it.
Okay, that's really interesting. It's about perspective then.
A lot of it, yeah. But she also warns they can be a double-edged sword. Use them well, great. Ignore them or misuse them, not so good.
So the takeaway for listeners is, instead of feeling bad comparing, maybe think, what advantages might they have that I don't see? And more importantly, what are my advantages, even the non-obvious ones?
Exactly. It's about turning the focus inward in a constructive way. Really empowering, I think.
Okay, that's unfair advantages.
Yeah.
What are the second thing? The iceberg illusion.
Ah, yes, the iceberg. Such a classic metaphor, but so true here.
So we only see the tip, right? The success part.
Precisely. We see the shiny results, the achievements, but we don't see the huge part underwater.
Which is?
All the hard work, the mistakes, the setbacks, the persistence, the failures, just the sheer grind that went into it.
All the stuff nobody posts on Instagram.
Pretty much. And Rory uses her own YouTube journey as a perfect example.
Right. She talks about hitting 300K subs and good revenue in like 10 months with about 100 videos.
Yeah, on the surface, that sounds incredibly fast. Like, whoa, overnight success.
But there's always a but.
Big but. That was her 5th YouTube channel.
5th, okay.
She started making videos way back in 2015, so that's 7 years before this sudden success.
7 years of what? Trying things out, learning, failing.
All of it. She mentions getting hardly any views sometimes, even being made fun of. That's the underwater part of the iceberg.
Wow, that context changes everything.
Completely. And she also invested heavily, over $10,000 in courses on YouTube, marketing, social media.
So real investment of time and money.
And dedication. She talked about studying other successful YouTubers obsessively for years, screenshotting, taking notes in a YouTube notebook, building this mental library of viral video.
That's serious commitment. That's the unseen work.
Totally. She even gave that specific example of her viral half Japanese, half Turkish video. It wasn't random.
What was the story there?
She'd seen a similar video concept 2 years earlier and consciously thought, I can do my own version of that. She planned it, adapted it.
So less spontaneous genius, more strategic adaptation based on years of research.
Exactly. It just hammers home that success rarely appears out of thin air. It's built on unseen foundations, on persistence, on not giving up.
Okay, so putting these two big ideas together, unfair advantages and the iceberg illusion, what's the main takeaway from this whole deep dive?
I think the core message is be really careful with online comparisons because you're almost never seeing the full picture.
Right. You don't see their hidden advantages, and you definitely don't see the massive effort and struggle underwater.
Yeah. So the advice is more about, first, look at yourself. What are your advantages? Use that Miles framework maybe just to get thinking. How can you leverage what you have?
Okay. Focus on your own strengths and situation.
And second, always remember that iceberg. When you see success, assume there's a huge amount of unseen work and time behind it. It rarely just happens.
It combats that feeling of why not me, or why is it so easy for them?
Exactly. It reframes it.
So that final advice from the video, it was about working hard and smart, right?
Right.
And not giving up.
Yeah, never give up on your dreams. Don't work only hard, work hard and smart. Simple, but it pulls it all together. Persevere, but be strategic about it. Use your advantages. Understand the long game.
Makes a lot of sense. A much healthier way to look at things than just comparing highlight reels.
Definitely.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Please like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for more real talk on hot viral topics.
Tell us what topic you want us to deep dive on in the comments section. Bye, everyone, and see you again in our next podcast.